My friends, I want to share with you a message of hope, even if this hope must be tempered with a recognition of the ever-present impediments to peace. Today, I tell you that we face a world in crisis. In saying this, I do not refer to the ongoing tension in the Balkans, nor to the financial panic of the past year. No. I say that there is a much deeper crisis underlying this instability, one that most experts overlook. I say that it is an economic crisis when nearly 1.5 billion people have no access to clean water, and 1 billion live in miserably substandard housing. I say that it is a leadership crisis when we allow wealth to be concentrated in fewer and fewer hands, so that the world's 3 richest individuals have assets that exceed the combined gross domestic product of the poorest 48 countries. I say it is a spiritual crisis when, as Gandhi said, many people are so poor that they can only see God in the form of bread, and when other individuals seem only to have faith in a capricious God whose invisible hand guides the free market. I say it is a moral crisis when 40,000 children die each day from malnutrition and disease. And I say it is a democratic crisis when 1.3 billion people live on incomes of less than $1 a day and in their unrelenting poverty are totally excluded from public decision making. While the age of the Cold War has ended, it has not been followed by the promised era of peace and prosperity. This is supposed to be a time of peace. But how can we say there is peace when thousands are made to work under dehumanizing conditions? How can we say that there is peace when we build more prisons and fewer schools? How can we say there is peace when so many go hungry? Today I challenge you to think about peace in a different manner, in a new way. When we demand peace, it must be not only a piece of national security, one which holds bombing and gunfire. It must also be a piece of human security, one concerned with the welfare of the health of humanity. The challenges of human security force us to create strategies focusing on prevention and cooperation. I believe that as a global community, we must be more patient in promoting strategies to prevent future violence and more critical of the use of military force. Unfortunately, many major world powers have repeatedly refused to strengthen a cooperative framework for global security. While we all recognize the necessity of controlling weapons of mass destruction, important agreements on chemical and biological weapons, on the use of landmines, on abolishing nuclear weapons, and on strong international courts have struggled to receive support. Our nations must shift away from the warped logic of militarism and confront a well-arms industry removed from democratic controls and humanitarian standards. Without a doubt, my friends, military spending represents the single most significant perversion of worldwide priorities known today. The $750 billion spent on weapons and soldiers in 1997 indeed constitutes a global tragedy. If we channel just $40 billion each year away from armies and into anti-poverty programs, in 10 years, all of the world's population will enjoy basic social services, education, healthcare and nutrition, potable water, and sanitation. Another $40 billion each year over 10 years would provide each person on this planet with an income level above the poverty line for the country. Shockingly, this life-giving $80 billion in annual funds would represent only 10% of world defense expenditures. Truly, increased military spending represents a missed opportunity for momentous human advancement. The sale of arms, as we all know, is big business. As a whole, military spending in industrialized nations is down from its peak of 10 years ago. But weapons contractors in these countries have continued to produce billions of dollars worth of armaments, and in fact have increased their weapon sales abroad. Their new clients are indeed the impoverished countries of the developing world, places where the majority of conflicts now take place. This unchecked proliferation of arms serves to bolster the power of militaries, impede the process of democratization, destroy economic advances, perpetuate ethnic and territorial conflicts, and create situations in which even the most basic human rights are at risk. In pursuing true solutions to contemporary defense concerns and in building a new era of non-violence, we urgently need to work together as an international community to limit the availability and spread of deadly weaponry. For this reason, my friends, I have worked with a commission of 17 of my fellow Nobel Peace Laureates to promote an international code of conduct on arms transfers. This agreement demands that any decision to export arms should take into account several characteristics pertaining to the country of final destination. The recipient country must endorse democracy, defined in terms of free and fair elections, the rule of law, and civilian control over the military and security forces. Its government must not engage in gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. The International Code of Conduct would not permit arms sales to any country engaged in armed aggression in violation of international law. We will ban the sale of weapons to those governments which sponsor terrorism, and finally, we will ban the sale of weapons to those countries, to those governments which do not comply with the UN Register of Conventional Arms. The International Code of Conduct on Arms Transfers builds on local efforts to regulate sales, such as the measures adopted by the European Union last year. As we work toward more comprehensive policies, all of you here tonight must make sure that the European Union Code of Conduct is not just another novel document, but an enforceable moral agreement that will be indeed an example to the world. It may come as a surprise to many to learn that of the top 10 exporting nations of conventional weaponry worldwide, 6 are European. While that in the last 10 years, weapons transfers from the developed world have resulted in a 19% increase in military spending by the poorest nations of the earth. All too often, known human rights violators have found willing arms suppliers among the very nations where the idea of universal rights first gained currency. Europeans and civil society should come forward to speak for the silent victims of this worldwide trade in death, for the amputees of Cambodia and Chad, whose bodies have been mutilated by imported weapons, for the malnourished of Turkey and India, who lack access to basic services and at the same time see their governments spend billions on arms acquisition programs. Like those that have gone before it, the International Code of Conduct on Arms Transfers is an important human security initiative that needs to benefit from a myriad of civil society groups if it is to capture the attention of the entire world. In recommending steps for the renewed social commitment of civil society, in devising strategies for the promotion of human rights, and in forging a new moral consciousness for Europe, it is my hope, my friends, that the Vienna Peace Summit will embrace the code effort, putting demilitarization and humane development at the fore of our ambitions. Thank you.